Ritual master Yin Shirsan stays at the house where a prosperous merchant lives to exorcise the ghost of a girl named Pei Yuan, who once was ordered by the merchant and his wife to be buried alive in a coffin with their dead son. Despite his line of work, Shirsan doesn't believe in ghosts and knows that behind the paranormal there are always real people trying to cover up their crimes, and he is quick to find them. However, his journey doesn't end here. Other people ask for his help, and they are surprisingly turn out to be connected to his own past. Chinese online cinema is just 10 years old, but in that time it has come a long way, evolving from cheap semi-amateur thrash to a full-fledged direction of modern entertainment, and the example of Mr. Ghost shows this evolution well. Its creator, writer, director and producer Todd Zhang has been in internet cinema almost since its inception, and one of his first hits was the comedy horror Mr. Yin and Yang, which came out in 2015 and made a star of actor Peng Yusi, who is still exploiting his popularity in the genre. That movie was an almanac of mystical stories in which a master of rituals, played by Peng, dealt with all sorts of paranormal phenomena, and the picture's popularity led to 2 more sequels, also directed by Zhang. But then Chinese censorship got to online movies and extended to them its main doctrine of unacceptability of paranormal on the screen, which forced the authors to switch to films of other genres. Mr. Ghost is a kind of reboot of this franchise, directed by the same Todd Zhang. The Chinese titles of this movie and Mr. Yin and Yang are the same. Both films feature a character named Bao Hulu, played by the same actor Gao Cheng-Long, and the new movie, just like the old one, consists of 3 seemingly independent stories. But 2 movies don't agree on the main thing. There are no ghosts at all in Mr. Ghost from 2023. Yin Shirsan is not so much a master of rituals, as an investigator, who carefully analyzes the facts, collects evidence, and eventually deduces the true culprit, and in Mr. Ghost Todd Zhang, as writer and director, aims not only to scare, but also to uncover the horrors that people themselves create, reeling from feudal superstitions, and to package it all into a single story, reflection on what the human psyche can do to cope with trauma. So as not to give away the movie's biggest surprise, we won't discuss its plot structure deeper, but we'll note that despite the unoriginality of this approach, it still works quite well, adding depth and emotion to the story. Mr. Ghost is also professionally filmed from a purely genre point of view. The authors often switch to the stories of secondary characters, and they give themselves the opportunity to play in real horror, which they don't need to explain and debunk, because it's just the stories people make up. Todd Zhang is a master of this genre. His internet movie The Town of Ghosts, built on the same principle, became one of the top hits of streaming services in 2022, and although since then there have been a lot of similar projects and there is no way to top the results of The Town of Ghosts, in commercial terms Mr. Ghost was still very successful. But this is by no means the beginning of a new wave. Rather, it's some inevitable stage in the regrouping of the genre and Chinese online cinema in general, where its veterans return to where they started, to rethink the path traveled in search of inspiration.